What the heck is this? What is this? So this is something I found on, I want to say Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. I'm always like, I'd say like once a week in the evenings, I search Phil Collins and Genesis on Facebook Marketplace, nationwide too. And same with like Craigslist and Kijiji and all those things, just to see what's happening. I don't really do Discogs or eBay too much because that to me is like cheating. It's like, it's super easy to get anything off of Discogs, eBay as well, if you're willing to pay for it. Whereas what I'm showing you today, I got for $7. So I find like it's a little bit more fun. Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist is a little more like yard sales. So to me, it's like a little bit more fun discovery. Anyway, I have no idea what this is. And one of the things I love about this channel and the people who watch is you know more than me, which is cool because I would have thought, oh, maybe I know the most, but no, I do not. I know the least. So when I saw this pop up, I did a lot of research and I couldn't find anything about it. And so I thought I would ask you, what the heck is this? This is, I'm going to take it over the sleeve. This is a 7-inch vinyl and it's white and it's a interview. That's all it is. It's a 6-minute interview. This is a 6.25 minute interview. It's the same on both sides. No pun intended. It's from 1990. It says interview 1990, Phil's 7-inch. And it's made in England, and you can see it's the same on both sides. And it's beautiful. It's actually really beautiful. And it's kind of like, it's kind of a little minimal, right? And like mysterious in this. And so just for a little bit of context, I got this from Montreal. Now I'm gonna play this for you. We're gonna talk about it and I'm gonna play it for you. So I got this from a guy in Montreal, I think who used to work at a record store. He wouldn't give me any details. I think he knew more than he was letting on, to be honest, because he kind of was using air quotes for a lot of things. And so I don't know if this is like, I mean, to me, this wouldn't be like an illegal pressing. It could be though. But because it's not very fancy, that makes me think maybe it's like a bootleg, but it's, I wouldn't say like it's overly, especially legal pressing because I'm not sure anybody would really pay for it. It's just 6 minutes of Phil talking. Now, here's what's really funny. And again, I'm gonna, at the end of this video, because I don't think this is gonna be a copyright issue, at the end of this video, I'm gonna play you this whole interview in full, all 6 minutes, you can listen to it. A couple things that are interesting. So it's from 1990, and one of the hilarious things that you'll hear is it's an interview from a bathroom, like it's in a toilet. In fact, Phil flushes the toilet to prove that they're recording this interview in a bathroom. The interviewer, and I think there's two of them, a man and a woman, it sounds kind of like a press junket, basically. And the interviewer makes a joke about like this series that they do where they interview, musicians in bathrooms. And I tried to research that, and I think he was joking. The other interesting thing is, or the funny thing is that Phil flushes the toilet to prove they're in a bathroom. And then it's like one of those old toilets that takes like a long time to fill, pun intended. And so the water's like draining back into the tank while the interview is going on. And honestly, of the 6 minutes ago, you hear water for like half of the time. It's hilarious how long he regrets like flushing the toilet. It's really funny. I do know, so they talk a lot about how busy and prolific Phil is, and this is from 1990. So this is around the time of the Serious Hits tour is my guess. I think they talk a little bit about Buster and Frauds. I can't remember now, actually. They just talk about how busy he is because, Buster was what, 88, but Seriously was 89. Serious Hits was 90. Like the But Seriously tour was 90. The reason I bring up the But Seriously tour that I think might be relevant to this, and I really am relying on you to let me know. The reason I bring up the But Seriously tour is because there is a 7-inch picture disc, or it might even be like a 10-inch, but I think it's a 7-inch picture disc. It looks like an official tour merchandise 7-inch record that I believe is an interview as well. So if you have that, let me know if it's the same. It could be the same audio. So this could potentially be like a test pressing of that, or like a press copy that they would use on the radio maybe. It's very possible that this is official from the record company, although it doesn't say the record company's name anywhere. But it is possible that they would send this to radio stations or to record stores for a giveaway maybe. But no, I think they could maybe send it to radio stations to play. But the interview's very specific and custom tailored, like it's not like a commissioned by management. So I don't know. So it could be, you'll have to let me know if it's the same audio as those But Seriously tour picture discs that I've seen around. Now, before I play this for you, I want you to listen to two things. First of all, at the very end, there's kind of like a little bit of alluding to what would eventually become Tarzan. Not that he had been contacted by Disney at this time, but he talks a little bit about soundtracks and his desire to do a soundtrack, which is cool. The second thing is my favorite thing about this whole interview is that the interviewer basically slags off Genesis right in front of Phil without apologizing. It's so funny, but he's like, I used to listen to Genesis, but I don't anymore. It was just completely ballsy for him to say that. And then he didn't even apologize or decide to go back on it. Good for the interviewer, totally insulting to Phil. So without further ado, I'm going to play this for you. But before I do, I want to beg you, please let me know if you know anything about this, because I have no idea what it is. What the heck is this? It's so cool. It's really beautiful. I have another, I think I've showed you this before. I have another interview picture disc that comes from the Hello, I Must Be Going era. This, I actually believe, is a recent pressing. It's a picture disc. I got this a couple years ago. It's from a company called BAK, and it says BAK 2020. So I don't know if that's because I got this in 2020 or 2021 actually. So this could have been pressed in 2020. And it's an interview. It's an interview about him talking about his divorce and talking about making of Hello, I Must Be Going. I don't even know if it's the same on both sides. I haven't listened to it in a while. It's kind of ugly, but I thought it was hilarious and I wanted to own it. So it's not the first interview on vinyl that I have, and that's kind of cool. The only context I have is it came from a record store in the 90s in Montreal, Canada. That's all I have, and I'll play you the clip and you tell me what you think.
Welcome to another edition of In the Toilet With. I'm now in the toilet with Phil Collins, no less, but just to prove this.
Just to prove that we are in the toilet.
Yeah.
You won't have to edit that out. I mean, this is real life.
Absolutely. What was I saying? Your best solo artist, apparently. And something else you got an award for. You got 2 awards tonight, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, the single got Another Day in Paradise got voted by Radio 1 listeners as their favourite of '89. It's a very loud flush, isn't it? Sorry, I didn't realise I was unleashing the sort of the Red Sea. But and that was great. You know, I mean, that's nice to know people are listening. And you can't do it anymore. You can't do anything about it. But this is real life. I mean, this makes it interesting, doesn't it?
That's right.
I haven't screwed it up, have I?
No, not at all.
No.
Listen,
Anyway,
you've never done an interview in a toilet before, have you, by any chance?
I haven't ever done an interview in the toilet with 2 other people. I've talked to myself in the toilet a few times, but I never actually interviewed anybody else. But yeah, I got that award, and then the British Mail, which is the 3rd time I've actually got it. And last year I got it, and I don't know. It's, when you're up, you see people like Cliff Richard who've had, it's their 30th year. I think it's his 30th year in the business, was it? And it's been a big year for him. Van Morrison is someone I'd like to have seen win it. I mean, just because he would never have won it because he just doesn't sell the records, and that's, I suppose, what it's based on. I don't know how it's voted for. But it's always a bit embarrassing when you go up there because there's half a dozen people that like you, and the rest of people saying, well, no, I think Van should have got it, It's always a bit embarrassing. But someone's got to win it, and I'm pleased I did.
Don't you get a bit blasé about this sort of thing? Because there's all the films that you've been involved with and all the records and the awards and one thing after another. And Genesis, that I used to listen to years ago.
Used to?
Used to, yes. I moved on to other things, like you do. But you seem to cover everything. You've done so much. To be honest, I mean, there's no getting away from it. It's not like one of those interviews where, gosh, aren't you wonderful? But you have honestly, you've been there everywhere, haven't you?
Well, it's very kind of you. I do lots of different things because I like doing lots of different things. I'm interested in lots of different things. My films actually is only one film. It might feel like I've done more films, but no. I mean, my last solo album was 5 years ago. The last Genesis album was 3 years ago. I don't think I overdo it. Maybe I used to. I mean, I do an awful lot of things that maybe people don't even hear about, which keeps me busy. But yeah, I do get around a bit, and I'm glad that the people enjoy it. I mean, I do what I do. I feel very thankful that I get paid for it. Because the financial aspect is really a very happy byproduct of what I do. I don't even get time to spend it. I just keep working because that's what I do with my life. I play music, I write songs, and I play drums, and I've now started to act again, and I love to do that, and I will just keep doing it. And if people say, slow down, why don't you slow down? Why don't you take a holiday? Well, I do. I have August off with my children. I have 2 weeks a year on holiday with my wife, like everybody else does. The rest of the time I work.
How important is it to you that your single, that that won the award, has actually got a meaningful message underneath?
Well, I think it's better than it's better to have something. It's nice to know that lyric might have touched people. There's an awful lot of people that have written to me and said, well, I think that, the subject is a very delicate subject. You approach it in a very sensitive way. I'm very pleased that it's been received as it was. But a lot of people also heard the song and didn't actually. I don't know how many people listen to the lyrics. They listen to the song first and then they start finding themselves singing it and they start realising what they're singing. And let's hope. All you can do is just hope that people do go home and they do see someone. And I know this has happened to a few people that I've spoken to about it. They see someone and they think, God, it is everywhere, isn't it? And maybe they can do something. And I don't know what I can do. People say, well, you got loads of money, you should do something about it. It isn't like that, Having money's got nothing to do with it. Everybody has got to say this isn't as good enough, and I've said it 3 times now, but I'm a mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And it has worked. I think we're seeing that kind of attitude work in Eastern Europe. And I think anything can be done if enough people create enough waves.
Have you never done anything that's been a flop? I mean, have a good think. I mean, is there anything at all that's never got anywhere?
Because people always say to me, you've had so many successes, and I turn around and say, oh no, I've had flops, and not many people do that. Not many people say, oh no, I've had dismal failures, But I did an album with 2 albums without Clapton. The first one of which wasn't a success, and the second one was a hit here. August was a hit. I've produced lots of things, and not all of them. Adam Ant I produced, and that wasn't a big hit. I've done things. When it comes to Genesis in my own career, I've been very lucky that things I've done have turned out very well.
Is there something that you want to do you haven't done yet? Have you got something there? Thinking, I must have a go at that sometime.
I'd like to write music for a film, which is something that I have been asked to do, and I've never had the time. I've also would like to do more films. That's something that I've only really touched the iceberg. What is it? Scratch the.
We've only seen the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg, yes. I've only scratched the surface of. That is something I really would like to do more of. But no, if I think of something, I go for it. If I'd have thought of something and I wasn't doing it, then I'd be doing it. You know what I mean? I'd be trying to do it.
I'm sure you would. Well, Phil Collins, thank you for being in the toilet with me today. Just another flush, please, to prove that it's...
If it's live, it's here in the toilet.
Great. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks for watching, and please let me know if you know anything about this. Leave it in the comments below.